welcome to another episode of Song Title Challenge. Question is, how would you write this one? Climbers like you, send in your song titles to info@daredevilproduction.com. Production is singular. There is no S, info@daredevilproduction.com. And you can send as many titles as you want. I store them. You have to put Song Title Challenge in the subject line so it gets into the right folder. If you don't, it won't. So make sure you take care of your business that way. And then I spring these titles live to Brent on the podcast here, like I'm about to do now. And we recreate what should be happening either in the first 15 minutes of a pro write or what you should be doing before you get to the pro write, where you've hashed out 4 or 5 different conceptual angles for that title to make sure that you are not just relying on the most obvious cliche way to write the lyrics, right? I mean, conceptually, if you go and you twist it up a little bit, sometimes miracles can happen. And this brings new life to your old hook book. I think we've got that new climber, Patrick Adams? Patrick Adams, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like all wound up about Song Title Challenge now. I love it. I'm like, did you go do the old hook book thing? Like, what? I want to know what happened.
Well, I was writing with him, Brad and Chris, and they brought in the title. We didn't love the angle that they went with it.
Oh, right.
And he's the guy that's like, can we song title challenge it? Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
And now he's posting videos of him jamming to the demo, driving down the road. So
I saw that. I didn't listen to the song, but I saw that. So that was the demo the song
that's
you guys
the demo
wrote?
of the song that we challenged.
That's freaking awesome. I love it. All right. So here we have another one. I told you I'm going to start giving, not predictions, but
your first impressions.
I'm going to express my first impression. My hot take on it. That's a better way to put it. I like that. My hot take on it. And then we'll see what happens afterwards. Because sometimes the request was maybe one of the more mundane titles right out of the box. But then what we cooked up with a concept for that all of a sudden made that title so freaking cool. And then what the writers did.
Right.
What the writers did with it after that was even cooler. So, I mean, it just kept escalating from there. So it really does matter. But there's nothing worse than a really mundane title with really mundane cliche lyrics. So you're really going to have to know the difference between a mundane title and something where you're winning before you're spinning. Let's just be honest about that.
Yep.
Recognize it. Call it out. You know, mac and cheese and hot sauce is not a great title. You're not winning before you're spinning on
That's
that,
right?
Or, tater tots and hot sauce. Like it's
at least it has
maybe
an internal rhyme
or something. Yeah, you better have some really amazing story behind that to make that work. So you got a song titled "Bejesus" out of that, right?
Right. Yep.
All right. So are you ready?
Never ever, but go for it.
So, by the way, this is not a co-write in any way, shape, or form. This is just a fun, creative exercise. If you send your titles in, you can use all of what Brent and I say. You can use none of what Brent and I say. It's completely up to you. This is just us kind of flexing some creative muscle here just to keep our stuff sharp. And
it keeps me sharp, and hopefully it encourages you and inspires you to dig deeper on your own work.
Exactly. The only thing we require is an invitation to the number one party because, Johnny loves a party.
That's right. And Brent loves the number one.
That's right. So I'll drink the booze. You take the award. We're happy.
There you go. I want to take the award. I'll just be there to help you crowd surf.
That's fun. There you go.
All right.
All right. So this is from Johnny Matt Music.
Johnny Matt.
I'm actually doing a consult with him later today.
I just did one recently too.
All right. And the title is My Broken Guitar.
My Broken Guitar. Okay.
My Broken Guitar. So I think my hot take right out of the box, there's nothing that leaps to mind on different ways that we can talk about or spin My Broken Guitar without talking about a guitar that's broken.
Well, true.
It feels limited, but what else can we do? Because context and suffix matters, right? So there might be, and you're always the genius with that. You're like, well, what if?
What if? Yeah. So your hot take on that is, it's like, it seems pretty limited.
Yeah.
Not sure. Yeah. My hot take on it is it's intriguing because it's an image and it begs the question how that sucker get broken. What's the story?
Oh, see? Here we go. Already now I feel better about this
So I'm
title.
already kind of curious, right? Why is this guitar broken? Because that's just sad, right? We hate broken guitars unless you're smashing them in concert. So it makes you want to know what happened. So it is intriguing that way. But also as a commercial songwriter, I'm wondering, okay, it's my broken guitar. Like, how relatable is this going to be for the average listener, right? Because most listeners are not guitar owners, lovers, or players, right? They enjoy other people's guitar work, in songs, but it's going to resonate with me and you more because we're in the music business. We love music. But, well, how do you make that universal and relevant to someone else? Because we have to write this in a way, if we don't have the artist in the room, that an artist hears it and goes, hell yeah. And then also the fan has the same reaction of like, man, that's amazing. And that's eating my lunch and reading my mail. So how do we do that? And so that's a question I have. First one, how is this relatable to an audience?
Oh, I just got a killer idea.
Okay, then I have a story.
I just got a killer.
It made me think
well, tell your story real first because I have to find one name.
Okay.
Just tell your story.
All right, so this was, I was back in college. So this was like probably 1995 maybe. And yeah, I'm that old. So it was like 1995. I was back home and my mom had a guitar that belonged to her father. And her dad passed away when she was 7. And so it was this old acoustic guitar. And they'd had it. And that wasn't the one that I was banging away on, but I was like, oh, cool. So I was like, can I have that? They're like, yeah. Because I don't remember. It wasn't something we had around the house like all the time when I was growing up. But through some manner, it came to my mom's or came out of a barn or something. I don't know. But I was like, that's super cool. It was my granddad's, and so just the family history of that. So I gave it to my buddy, Tim, who was my co-writer at the time, my only co-writer, still one of my best buddies. He was going to restring it and tune it and all that good stuff and get it ready for me. I was like, thank you. So I dropped it off at his place. Anyway, it had been like a month or something. I'm busy in college and I'm like, I ain't got the guitar back. So I called up Tim. I was like, dude, what's going on with that guitar? He goes, so my little brother, I had it on the porch, like leaning up against the wall, and my
what happened
to the guitar, Tim? Well, I'm telling you, my little brother, so he was, I don't know, junior high maybe at that age. And he's like, well, he'd had a really bad day. He was in a bad mood. And he came home and saw this old guitar and thought, I'm going to smash that old guitar. And he smashed your granddad's guitar. I'm so sorry. Oh, that's one of those you just can't get back.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But, Bobby went on to be in the Marines, so I never said anything about it. So I kind of let that go.
Yeah, right.
He's a Marine.
Because he just can't keep whipping my butt.
Yeah, he's trained to kill me. So that was the first thing I thought of when you said broken guitar. I flashed back to my granddad's guitar that I never got to play. No, that's super specific.
So that's interesting. But there's lots of different routes that you can go off of that. You can talk about what caused him to smash that guitar, like what was going on with that. So you could almost talk about a song. I don't know if this is interesting, but could you do a song about reframing? Maybe you're talking about the hostility that you felt and the loss that you felt. And it's all about me, because that guitar broke. And then you find out the story why.
Right.
And you're like, oh, dang. All of a sudden, I'm not thinking about my broken guitar.
Yeah, it could be that. And I think of that story that you've told probably a couple times on the podcast. The kid throws a rock at the guy's new car.
Yeah.
And he pulls over. He's like, what are you throwing a rock at my car? He's my buddy's in the ditch. He needs help. And suddenly the reference changes. And I don't know if that story leads to anything, but that's one of those things that in a co-write, you're just going to talk that stuff out. Oh, man, that reminds me, And so that's why I shared that here is because in a co-write, you would do that. You would share this story that may lead to nothing, but you start feeling it and you start opening your heart and you're talking about it. A couple things do spring to mind. And I'm not sure about how universal it could be because it's how do you get away from the music thing, like being I'm a musician. But every once in a while, those get cut and those even become singles. So my broken guitar, I think of what if you let everything up to make the listener think it's my broken heart, because guitar and heart are rhymes, right? And my broken heart, that's my broken guitar. I got another idea. Okay.
And you jaws it. You don't show the shark until the end.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, oh, my broken
It's guitar. Like my broken
guitar.
And everybody just immediately sinks in their head. It's because you put a rhyme up for heart.
Right, exactly. And they're going to think
prior to that. Oh, that's good.
What if
it's an ambush?
It's, so I'm kind of crossbreeding that with another thought I had of, man, my broken guitar, it just doesn't play like before. because your heart's broken or something she left, I just can't play those love songs like I could. It doesn't sound right anymore. The magic has kind of gone out of the music that I would play because she's gone. And here I am just with my broken guitar, which alludes to broken heart, but it's my broken guitar. It's not playing the right way because she's gone.
Good.
That's
so good, dude. That's so good.
So I think that could be
I
pretty
love
cool.
that. So, and you could go even deeper. Like maybe the guitar's not really broken.
No, exactly.
It just
It's
feels
not
like it's broken because I can't make this feel.
Now you're
the way
smelling
I
what I'm
want it to-
cooking. That's exactly what. It's not broken.
So
it didn't
hot.
even break a string. It's all tuned up.
Yeah.
Dang, my broken guitar just,
And you could put a little in there about the guitar, like setting it up that it's not broken.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
I think you do. It's like, man, the chords are the same, the whatever, but it just something's not right.
Oh, and she bought it for you. She bought it for you.
It could be she bought it for you.
She just bought the brand new guitar for you.
She bought it for you, or that's the one where like you would serenade her.
Yeah.
The one where you'd sit and you'd woo
But
her,
now
but
it's
now it's
broken.
broken because, man, those songs just don't come out like with any heart anymore. I'm just sitting here missing you with my broken guitar.
Oh, that's hot.
It's that kind of thing. It'd be cool. It makes me think Red Akins. So Thomas Rhett's daddy for the younger generation. He had a record deal, and he had a song that I always loved called Katie Brought My Guitar Back Today. And it's a breakup song. Katie brought my guitar back today. I've seen it make her cry over and over, but basically it's over. And now I know it's really over. Katie brought my guitar back today. It's like the end of the relationship where you're like, oh, bring your guitar back, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So, and that was so relevant because even though if you don't play guitar, the heart of it is still, man, it's over. So it's a heartbreak song. That's what makes it relevant. So it's not about the guitar. It's just, that's the vehicle for this heartbreak of just, it's broken because my heart's broken. So it's not playing right. But yeah, it's nothing to do with the guitar. It's because I don't have her to play for anymore.
So hold on. So we got, those are two like really cool ideas. Because one of them is you sort of lead up to the hook where you just never say guitar.
Right.
And everybody thinks it's heart.
Right.
Because that's what you're talking about. But then when you get to the end, it's guitar and you're like, what? It's like Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Like
he was dead the whole time. Like you were talking about a guitar the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
And then you could, and is that like my heart's broken because my guitar's broken? Or, which is small, like, that's not a big universal thing. Like, oh, he's sad, his guitar got broken, then how'd it get broken? I don't know how relevant that is. It might be clever, but how universal, like, are people going to be like, oh yeah, man, when his guitar broke, that Fender, had a fender bender. So, yeah, I don't know how relevant that would be, but unless you tie that in with, but I really like the idea of, yeah, man, it's just not playing right. I'm sitting here with my missing you with a broken guitar, which sounds like heart, and you can play off that. Mm-hmm. Maybe you talk about bending the strings, on a broken guitar, on my broken guitar. So I think that would be pretty cool.
Resonate. I mean, you could bring in a whole lot of musical references like intonation, like tone. Mm-hmm. Resonate. I guess I should be minding my tone. I used to resonate with it. You can say wound too tight, a little loose. It's all about the right hand.
Yeah, I know. I thought about my left hand's doing what it's supposed to be doing. My right hand's doing what it's supposed to be doing. I'm like, well, you can take that some different ways.
Yeah, but you can totally get away with it when you're talking about
a guitar, right?
A guitar, yeah.
So that's kind of like the ballady, kind of heartbreaky thing, right? Kind of introspective.
Or the Mavericks total heartbreak song put to a beat.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, how else can you say my broken guitar? Say, well, this guitar's broken. Why? It only plays rock, Yeah. And it could be that kind of thing too, where it plays too long, too loud, I think I got a broken guitar. Or
it only plays sad songs.
Right. But that's a way to give it a vehicle for just rocking, right? We're just tempo and
that might
rocking.
be your bridge right there. Like that, my boys used to come around. We used to hang out because we could turn it up and play some cool stuff.
Mom never liked my broken guitar.
Now all it does is play slow songs.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to hang out with me.
Yeah. I mean, it's that. You'd go that way now. All it plays are heartbreak, sad songs. Man, my broken guitar. And that could even be...
There's a hole.
So that's a different way.
A big hole.
Yeah.
In my broken guitar.
Here I am playing my broken guitar. Where your memory? Here's a hole where your memories are. Yeah, there's that hole where your memories are. Here I sit playing my broken guitar.
Damn, dude, that's so good right there.
So anyway, okay, we can just be rocking, and your mama never liked my broken guitar. I was over here a rockabilly to play too fast, too loud, too long, or whatever, rock too hard, and all this stuff. But the girls love my broken guitar. It could be all it plays are these sad songs, and you could do that kind of in that tempo way where it's just kind of tongue in cheek. Even it could be like a bluegrassy thing. It's just this hot picking Ricky Skaggs, country boy kind of thing where ever since you left, I got a broken guitar. It just plays sad songs. And it could be ironic and be like a fast song that's still a heartbreak song because you left and you broke my heart, but it's just hot picking. So that could be a cool thing for like a bluegrassy thing, or even like a Paisley thing, you know, because he's a chicken picking dude. So it could be that kind of thing. And your hot take. Take your hot take, Johnny.
Now I'm super excited about this. Like this is why I think the hot take is cool.
Yeah.
Because we bring the hot take first, and I'm like, wah, 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 and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, this is the most awesome idea ever. So good on you, Johnny, man.
There you go. Okay, so that's where the guitar's not broken, right? It's his heart that's broken. Okay, let's dive into it really is broken, physically broken. You know, my broken guitar. Is it that thing about I broke it after we broke up, kind of like the Bobby story. I was pissed off and broke it. Is it that thing? You know, my heart's feeling just like my broken guitar. Could be that kind of angle too.
Where you start off with the story of you smashing the guitar, and then you figure out why, and now it's like my heart is just as broken as my guitar.
Yeah, my heart's feeling just like my broken guitar or whatever. My heart took it as hard as my broken guitar. And how it doesn't make any music anymore, neither do we. You know, you could play off that kind of stuff. And so to make it relevant, why are we talking about a guitar? Well, you tie that in with a love story about how we don't rhyme anymore and whatever, you know, pulling on the heart.
I got something to add to that. So there's some recent news. This artist, Phoebe Bridges, and I guess she smashes guitars on stage on the regular. And so she's like, I don't know why people care so much about the guitars or whatever. And that makes me think of Kurt Cobain, and that makes me think of The Who, Pete Townsend, smashing guitars.
Garth Brooks did that in some concerts, famous moment, yeah.
This could be like a really cool, upbeat, hip, like Def Leppard's got a song like this. It's called Rocket, where it's just all these references to former rock stars.
Yeah.
It's an open slate. There's a million ways you could go, but you name different songs or lines from lyrics, or you attach the hip factor of all these artists, Nikki Sixx and Pete Townsend and Garth Brooks and all these people that broke guitars on stage.
Yeah.
And then it's like sort of you attribute it to yourself. It's almost like you're branding that coolness onto the artist. That could be a really good cut idea. You know what I mean? I just don't know what I'm going to be able to do with my broken guitar. So you make it kind of self-deprecating. Like, would my broken guitar be as cool as that? Or, you know, you sort of spin that in there, but it's a way to shout all them out and sort of talk about a specific thing.
Yeah, and I wonder, too, if it's like, that's my broken guitar, but I got it at a Nirvana concert. You know, like it's a memorabilia. It's like, it's mine. I got it from Kurt Cobain. It flew into the third row.
Which is where I met you.
It could be that,
And I love that.
They're going to be older if they met at a Nirvana concert. Be like, all right.
But, I mean, it could be Phoebe Bridgers. It could be.
Yeah. And maybe you don't say the artist. It was just somebody who's smashing guitars, is that kind of thing. And that's my broken guitar. This is my broken heart. Like, yeah, maybe you got that piece of memorabilia and then she left and you're displaying all your broken things.
Yeah.
So you can.
So it's like my achy, breaky heart.
Love, because love is the coin of the realm, right? If we can bring it back to love, you can open that universal appeal of the song, even past people that are music junkies.
Yeah, I used to think this broken guitar was like a piece of art, but now it's just a broken guitar.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh yeah.
Like it used to, because it just reminds me of you. It reminds me of my broken heart.
Yeah, now it's just a broken guitar is interesting.
Yeah.
Like it used to mean something else, but now it's just a broken guitar. Or now the my kind of throws me at limits, you know. So if we were writing down about, say, what if we say a broken guitar or this broken guitar, we'd play with that. I'm trying to stay on my broken guitar because that's the title that came in. But yeah, now it's just a broken guitar, and you just call it broken guitar. Because I think broken guitar is a cool title too. A little more streamlined, a little more, let's see, broken guitar. It belonged to somebody else. It's not broken, but it never plays anymore because the person that played it is gone. Granddad, dad, bandmate.
What about a broken guitar that came from a broken home? And And now we're putting the pieces back together on our own.
Broken guitar.
Kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. What if, okay. So what's the opposite? It's not a broken guitar. That doesn't make it a broken guitar. It just popped a string, dude. Just needs some maintenance. Just needs tuning.
Yeah.
What if that's us? What if that's us? We just need some tuning.
Yeah.
You know,
it needs a fret job. It needs,
we just need
it needs a truss rod.
Right? It doesn't make it a broken guitar. It can still make beautiful music, dude. We just got to get in tune.
Yeah.
It could be small, like a relationship, like a guy and a girl, or whatever.
It could be a
who's like,
song.
girl, this is not a broken guitar. The music's not over. We just need to tune up, right, and get right, and then it's going to sing again. So, hey, we're going through a rough time. This relationship is not broken. It just needs a tune-up, right? So that's a way to do it too. Another thing could be to take it bigger, like in the world. Mm-hmm. Everybody's at each other's throats, all this stuff. Man, it's not a broken guitar. It just got a broken string. Or somehow to say it's not all crap. It's not all busted and broken. It just needs this. Don't give up on it.
Right. Yeah.
I think that could be pretty cool too. So there you're getting into kumbaya.
One man's junk is another man's treasure kind of a thing. And so it's like, hey, you see a broken guitar, I see possibilities.
Yeah.
You see that it's out of tune, I see hope. And you sort of, you build it around the guitar. That's
And now that's the thing too. You see a broken guitar, I see lugging that thing on stage for 10 years until it fell out of the back of the trailer because a freaking new guy forgot to lock the back of the trailer. That's why it's broken, or whatever. Or it got busted.
Left it on the roof of the car.
Yeah, left it on the roof of the car. Or it got busted in a bar fight at this place. Like, you see a broken guitar, man, I see years of memories. Like, I can't get rid of that.
Oh, that's interesting too. You go back and just talk about like any star might cut that because they can talk about their time coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can lead up to the moment where the guitar got broken, but it's like I see this, and this, and then one night,
and it's like
this is what happened.
So that's why I don't get rid of my broken guitar. It still talks, man. It still talks to me. It still plays for me. Every time I look at it, it still plays for me. You know, these memories. And now that would be a thing that I'd sit on to write with an artist that is a guitar guy or girl. That's one of those, like, it's going to be so specific that, you could write it by yourself and it could be really super cool. But the odds of that landing just right for an artist is tough.
And if you write it with the artist,
it's really going to be something they're going to want to say and put their specifics in there. So that's one of those I would go, if I want to do this, I want to sit on it for an artist that I can get in the room with so they can really put their thing in it. That's how I would do, just to up my chances. It could still be great, but to up my chances of getting it.
Well, they're going to be invested in it because it's going to be about
like, tell me stories. So
they're
telling you stories from the early days on the road, and maybe they don't have a broken guitar, but it's still, you put those stories in there. So it's like, that nostalgia factor. Is that sound like a big single? Well, Eric Church could probably make it, out there and make it awesome. Most people, it'd be more like an album cut kind of thing or a hidden track, a B-side kind of thing, just because what's the big universal thing about that? But you never know. Like, it could fit in that Luke Combs world, in Eric Church world.
So how about this? Like, I remember when we were on tour and our bass player, Marty, had this brand new bass that he got. It was like super cool. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like this really slick ass thing. And we're playing at the station in Orlando, and he spins around on stage and it hits like a post that was on the stage or something. Like, he hit something with the headstock and that damn thing broke right off. It busted the headstock, right? And we had Uncle Ron, our road guy that was with us, was like straight up not a guitar doctor, but a guitar surgeon. And Marty played that thing the next night. He put that back together and had all the clamps, all the crap that he needed, the glue, everything like that, put it all back together, tune that. And that's got to be a pretty good job because bass strings have a lot of tension, you know what I mean? And when you're talking about the headstock popping off. But so there is a situation where it's like, hey, this broken guitar, but like we put it back together.
Yeah, that could be a thing. Yeah, that could be a part. We put it back together once. It's been through surgery before. It's been through some wars. So
my first like really big acoustic purchase that I made, I got from Groom Guitars here in Nashville in the mid 90s. And it was a 1968 Gibson Country Western acoustic. And it had been broken and put back together a bunch of times. And it was strange because it was really throaty and really cool, like for like Stonesy kind of Wild Horses, maybe stuff. But it doesn't open up when you strum it. You know what I mean? Like it would kind of choke off. It wouldn't resonate the right way. So you're not going to put acoustic wash on a track behind that or something. You're going to use a Martin for that or whatever, or not this guitar, that maybe another Gibson, but for these specific things, like that old broken guitar sounded so, people would be like, man, I love the sound of that. Right until they try to do a big strummy strum thing. And they're like, oh, what's
this broken guitar? It's good for a certain number. I have a specific set of skills.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, it could be, it could be something like that too. But that's a lot of looks at this, man.
It makes me think of Matt Klein's guitar. Remember Matt's guitar with the big old hole in it because it didn't have a pick guard and he uses like dinner plates for picks?
Oh, yeah.
And so he wore through the... And that's Willie Nelson has something like that too. As like on Trigger has like holes in it and stuff. But he named his guitar. It's Trigger. I know his guitar's name, and that could be a kind of thing too about it. Anyway, so yeah, man, we've gone way long.
It still sounds, this broken guitar sounds good.
It
to me.
Yeah. You might think it broken. I don't think it's just right. So we have given a lot of looks at it. So thanks for sending that in, Johnny.
Yeah, I think this might be the longest one we've ever did for,
I think so.
Maybe what I thought was maybe one of the weakest
but
titles. Just being straight up. Like,
at least for us.
It flew by, and we really got some good stuff out of that. So there you go. Like, I think there's some killer stuff there. So I know Johnny Matt knows how to get in touch with you because he already has, but if somebody else wants to do that.
So I do private song title challenges for folks. I do consulting. I do coach writing. I do Q&A. It's your chance to, pick my brain and try to strengthen your songs or just answer questions you have about the music business. So I can help you prepare your song. I can help you repair your song. You can get a hold of me. You can see my calendar. You can book a session, all that good stuff at songwritingpro.com/coaching. That's songwritingpro.com/coaching. And we'll hook you up.
There you go, guys. Well, there you go. Thank you again, Johnny Matt, for sending that song in. If you got song titles, if you got a bunch, send them all in to info@daredevilproduction.com. Production is singular. There is no S. info@daredevilproduction.com. Put song title challenge in the subject line so it gets in the right folder. If you don't, it won't. And maybe we'll do your song title challenge on the air. This podcast exists because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.